and the hay's in the barn. The Baltimore Ravens are Super Bowl champions.
From a high school field in Hawaii to the deafening roar of the Super Bowl, Maake Kemoeatu battled his way to the top.
Me growing up, I always looked up to him. I wanted to, be like him.
And the Pittsburgh Steelers become the first franchise in history to win 6 Super Bowls.
His younger brother Chris followed in his footsteps, winning 2 Super Bowls with the Steelers. But in the summer of 2014, Maake gave his younger brother more than inspiration. He gave him the gift of life.
I don't know how I'm ever going to repay him for that, all I can do is say thank you.
Hello, Steelers Nation. Welcome to an electric stadium.
Coming into my last year, I tried training, but my body just didn't feel right.
Chris was only 28 years old, but his health was failing. He couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. He was exhausted all the time.
I would always have swelling in my feet, my hands. It felt like in my joints I would have really bad arthritis. I got really sick to where my urine was the color of Coke. They say it was blood in my urine.
To sit there and watch him go through it game after game, how much more pain are you gonna take, to continue to keep playing like this?
In 2012, Chris was released by the Steelers, and the following year moved in with his brother in Baltimore. It was here that he received the devastating news.
Whether if it was now or a couple years, eventually I would have to get a kidney transplant.
He had been playing football for a long time with abnormal kidney function. It is remarkable how much he was able to endure and play pro football in the condition he was in.
What is the worst thing that could happen to your brother that you've grown up with? The worst thing that could happen is he could die. What are the chances of saving him?
Chris was put on a deceased donor waiting list, but time wasn't on his side. Consider this. M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore holds 71,000 people. Imagine every seat filled, with another 30,000 people waiting in line outside. That's how many people are waiting for a kidney transplant in the United States. A third of them have been waiting for 3 years or more. On average, 13 of them die every day.
I was hopeful that my brothers would get tested too and that they would match, because I knew that if it was from somebody else, it would have to be someone as big as me.
In sibling transplants, we know that 1 in 4 siblings are a perfect match.
3 months after his first Super Bowl, Maake, his 2 other brothers, and his father were tested to determine if they could donate one of their kidneys to Chris.
My oldest brother was almost identical, as if we were twins.
My dad was a match too, but I was the best match. He cried and he said, let me be the one to donate the kidney. He said, son, one day you'd understand the pain of watching your son, go through it. And I really want to do this. And I said, I don't quite yet have my own family, but I do understand that's my brother. You always taught me that being the oldest comes with responsibilities. And if my brothers and sisters needed blood, it would have to be my blood. How's that guy doing, John? We kind of didn't say it much to each other. We kind of just looked at each other and be like, all right, see you on the other side. I was a little scared. Hopefully we both come out of it healthy. If something happens to one of us, I hope if something happens to me and my brother makes it out. And when I woke up, the first thing I asked was, How's Chris?
We'll go see my brother. See how he's doing with his new kidney.
You know, I closed my eyes and I started crying and I said, okay, he's gonna be fine. You know, he's gonna be okay.
I felt humbled. I felt relieved. I also thought of how strong he was to do it for me, and then the next day get up and walk to my room.
The chances that that kidney will still be working 20 years later are very, very high, in the 80 to 90% range.
You know, I definitely thought that he could have played a couple more years. He definitely made a huge sacrifice for me. We come from a very tough love type of family. We never hug each other or, you know, talk about personal problems that we're going through. We kind of hold it in ourselves and not really express how we really feel. And now that we've done the surgery, we've kind of opened up to each other. Simple as me telling him I love him. And him easily saying it back to me, you know?
We tell each other, I love you, and we share because this experience has taught us even more how much important life is and how important family is.